What's going on, guys? It's Tanamojo, and today, welcome everyone to another episode of Story Time, the series where I tell you the most realistic stories about my life and share them with all of you. So in today's episode, I'm gonna be sharing a crazy story about what happened at a friend's house, and let's just jump right into it. So basically, I was lying down, I had my legs open a little bit, nothing too crazy, and I found this object, and he fucked me with a toothbrush! Okay, I'm not doing a Tanamojo parody. That's not what this is. This is simply a story that recently happened, and it is real. You can ask anyone from my school. I'm sure there are some that are watching this video and can vouch in the comments section below. But yes, this is Story Time with Absterbone, I guess you could say that. And basically, this Thursday, we had an assembly that led to a chain of events that were actually pretty funny. So it's Thursday morning, we get called down to the assembly. My homeroom is on the second floor. So as I'm walking down, I'm running through my head, alright, what's today's month? I mean, we have Black History Month, we have Anti-Violence Month. It's gotta be something themed around the month. I did a quick Google search, I couldn't find anything for the month of February. So I was like, alright, let's see what this is. As I walk into the auditorium, I see the first PowerPoint slide displayed in all view, and the title is The Dangers of Social Media. Oh, man. I mean, immediately I knew that I was in for a real treat. So I sit down, I'm rolling my eyes, you know, I'm talking crap to the people next to me about how horrible this is gonna be, and then the assembly starts. So you have this woman, I would say in her late 40s, walking on over to the podium, introducing herself, saying that she works with some sort of prosecutor's office in my area, and how she's gonna teach us all about online safety. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is gonna be one of those presentations where they think that we're all ignorant and know nothing about social media, and that they know more than all of us. So they start off the assembly talking about different forms of social media, and this was the first, and at this point I knew that this was gonna be complete BS, because what happened is that the slide had a bunch of famous, you know, hip, trending social media stuff on it, and one of the things was Vine. They decided that they would just include Vine on there. Not sure how up to date, you know, this person is, but Vine died like 3 months ago, so I mean that was the first red flag that I knew this was going to be a complete joke. And after introducing the different social media platforms, they then introduced what's trending nowadays on your mobile devices. And one of the things was Pokemon Go. Okay, I don't know if you're aware of this. Pokemon Go died like at the end of July. Hasn't really been played that much. I don't go around my school seeing people trying to catch Pokemon. That's just not what happens. After those two slides, I immediately knew that this was gonna be complete garbage. But you know, let's at least get a laugh out of it. And one of the things which I think is absolutely funny, which is what this woman said before she even began, is that I'm not here to tell you that social media is bad. Which is a complete lie, and you'll later find this out. But she starts off with Pokemon Go, immediately jumps to the negative, and is telling us about the beacon feature. Now, if you remember, when Pokemon Go first came out, and I think it's still in there, there's like a feature, you could put a beacon down, letting other people know, like, hey! There's good Pokemon here! You can catch some good Pokemon here! Come along! Come along! Catch good Pokemon! And the feature ended up being abused, and people were getting mugged over it. I think there was like a stabbing at one point. And so she immediately relayed that information to us, thinking that we had, you know, no idea about it.
But one feature of the game is causing concern today. It's called Allure.
Pretty strange stories linked to the game.
But it could be setting people up for some very dangerous situations.
And police fear possibly into harm's way.
Somebody with evil intent could also use Allure to draw you into a trap. Cops say somebody with evil intent could also use Allure to draw you into a trap.
You know, one of the things that first popped into my mind was H3 Productions, who I'm going to be referencing a lot throughout this video because he's just so relevant to this. He made a video on Pokemon Go, and here's basically what he said.
There's a new game out right now that's fun, exciting, has people exercising, going outside, meeting new people, overall having a great time. And journalists in the world are asking, how do I turn this into something scary and bad? Whenever something good happens, you know that there's always the journalist who just wants to get clicks for views, who's like, yes, this thing is pure and perfect and makes everyone happy, but did you also consider that it sprays super AIDS into your children's asshole. Have you guys considered that? It doesn't actually happen, but have you considered it? So can we just enjoy something? No. The answer is a resounding no.
Yeah, so you're talking about not wanting to ruin it for us and not discourage it from us, but yet you come out with that? Yeah, okay. So then, going a little bit further into the presentation, they then begin to talk about terroristic threats and telling us that, yeah, do you know that what you post on Twitter and Snapchat, if it's like in a threatening manner, you can get in a lot of trouble for that. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, we know that. I mean, last time I checked, I don't post on my Twitter, hey guys, I'm gonna go shoot up a school, hashtag, oh, like no one does that. Like, who in their right mind would ever say a threat? I've never seen it personally. I know this lady's talking about how it's so frequent, yet I think throughout the entire presentation, for each individual aspect, she maybe referenced 1 or 3 cases within the past 2 years, which is, you know, such a high amount of individuals committing these offenses. And then she started talking about cyberbullying, which is always a fun topic to get into because definitely doesn't have very mixed views on it. And she's basically telling us, look, if you make someone feel uncomfortable online, if they come into school and they're depressed, it becomes the school's problem, and it's up to us to make sure that student gets what they need and is not being hurt and harassed online. And I'm like thinking to myself, lady, what you should have said is this: if you can't handle it, don't use it. No one says that you have to use a Twitter account. No one says you have to use a Facebook account. No one says you have to use a Snapchat account. If you can't handle someone calling you a f***ing homo, then don't use it, you know? Just don't use it. There are gonna be things that you disagree with, and unfortunately, you know, the internet isn't this la-la land that you're painting it out to be. And yeah, there are assholes out there, and, you know, to tell people to go and cry to the school and have them deal with it, that's not the right way to go about it. Just don't use it. If you can't handle it, don't use it. What I said in another video of mine, use the block button. It's there for a reason. You click the block button and you can't see their shit anymore. It's that simple. But did she mention any of that? No, she didn't. Then she got into something that was the most ridiculous thing ever. You guys are gonna laugh so hard at this, for those of you who understand the reference. She was talking about the dangers of social media, as always, and she was talking about Facebook, and she said, here's a video demonstrating the dangers of social media online with Facebook. And you want to know what video she played for us? The Kobe person video. Oh my god! She played the fake video of Kobe person's staged reactions with 12, 13, and 14-year-old girls. Oh my god! This was insane because she thought it was real. She was talking about it as if it were real. Oh my god. So yeah, I recorded a little bit on my phone, and I'm gonna play that for you right now of just how absurd it was. Oh my god.
She's coming, yeah? Michaela? From Facebook. Remember?
Michaela! Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
You know, H3 Productions, you know, exposed the video for being complete fake. It's not real.
Wow, it's a super public park. There's a ton of people there. She's clearly in fucking mortal danger. She's gonna get fucking raped and molested right there in front of that nice looking family in this nice suburban neighborhood. God, how could she do this to her family?
Remember?
Michaela! Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
She didn't do anything. She said, "Who are you?" And he said, "From Facebook, remember?" And she didn't say anything. And here comes fucking dad, who's gonna beat the shit out of her. I don't get the message. What are we trying to teach kids? To be paranoid, to not trust anyone? Well, the message is clear. They taught them not to trust strangers, but what the real thing was not to trust your own dad.
So yeah, I mean, that was probably the second most funniest thing about that presentation. That was just so funny when they played whole Kobe person video. And some of my friends that I knew, and I was like looking around for, like, they know who H3 is, and they were dying laughing because the video's fake. It's not real. So then we move into sexting and child pornography. Now, this is when the laughter really got real, but I'll start off with something else first. They're starting off saying, like, you know, if you send nudes to someone and you get caught, you'll go on Megan's Law list, you'll be a sex offender for 15 years, and it'll really impact your life. And there were 2 cases of this last year. You know, I don't know how many thousands of people live around here, but there were 2 cases, okay? And that should be enough to scare you, you know, not to take your phone out, send a little picture of your ding-a-ling to people on the internet. And what I thought was really funny is that on top of that, and this really discredited her, in my opinion, to the largest extent, is she said, also, it's not just full nudity that counts. If you post a picture of yourself and a bra or a bikini, that can be counted as child pornography as well. And I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? Like, you can't be serious. I mean, I can go on Instagram right now, and there are about 1,000 pictures of girls in my school where they're in bikinis. All of them are in bikinis. So you mean to tell me that each one of those is child pornography? Because if so, you know, here are their handles, you know, arrest them all, charge them all, you know, throw them in the slammer. Really, really horrible people. You know, God forbid that they post a picture of themselves in a bikini, you know, that's just horrible. Now this is so stupid because it was not how I intended it to go, but I guess the majority of people are just deaf and can't hear anything. But what happened is that it was, they were telling us about child pornography and sexting, and they said, does anyone have any questions, you know? And I wish they would have said this for, like, you know, the Kobe person video or anything, because I would have just, like, flat out roasted them. I would have been like, yeah, you know, that video is fake, you know? But this is when they asked for questions, and it was for this specific topic, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll ask a question. So I raise my hand, I get called on, I stand up, I stand there for about 30 seconds, because everyone's like, oh, here's Avi, here we go, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Oh, Avi, why does Avi gotta raise his hand? Oh my god. You know, everyone's groaning. They're like, oh boy, you know, Avi's got something to say. Oh man. And I'm looking to my left, I got an assistant principal. I'm looking to my right, I got an assistant principal. And I'm looking behind me, and I got an assistant principal. So all eyes are on me. And, you know, I have a good question, you know, what I thought was a good question. But I didn't even really get to ask it because of what distracted everyone from it. And so I stand up, and it's my turn to ask my question. And I started off by saying, I have seen a lot of news lately regarding the subject, and before I could even continue, everyone was dying laughing. And it took me about 10 seconds to figure out why, and then I realized that everyone thought that I said, I have seen a lot of nudes lately. Nudes! Why would I say that? Why would I get up and stand in front of like 800 people and say, yeah, I have seen a lot of nudes lately. I see huge ass titties and big vaginas all the time. Like, who in their right mind would stand up and say that? So I'm looking around, I'm trying to keep myself together. I can't help but crack up a little bit because I'm like, how stupid can people be to think that I said that? I look over to my left and I see this one assistant principal, and she is not happy. She has her arms crossed, dart look at me like, Avi, I swear to God, why the hell would you say something like that? And I'm trying to say what I really said, and I keep screaming out, NEWS, news, news! I said news! You know, NEWS, news! No one's hearing me. Everyone keeps thinking I'm saying nudes. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, are you kidding me? And to make it 10 times worse, the lady up front who's 40 and can't hear me grabs her microphone and says, that took a lot of confidence to admit something like that. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying! I'm saying news! I'm saying news, N-E-W-S. I'm literally screaming out the spelling because people think I'm saying nudes, and that's not what I'm saying. Oh man, and then finally, God bless you, someone in the front row finally waved her over and said, he's saying news, not nudes. And she gets her microphone, she's like, oh, and I'm like, oh my God. And at this point, I was just so embarrassed. I just took my seat, you know. It was it was enough for me. But in conclusion, you had someone who I don't think knew anything about social media, giving the least credible sources, being outdated on what's trending in her mind, and me making an ass of myself saying news, and everyone hearing me saying nudes. You know, I still can't believe that anyone would think that, yeah, I'm just gonna stand up here and be like, yeah guys, so I see a lot of nudes, I like nudes. Gonna let you know, nudes. But you know, it's not up to me on how people interpret things, and that's really the whole story. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all later. Peace.